Well, I'm Jagendra Rana. The topic for our discussion today is insurance salesmanship. Insurance salesmanship. The salesmanship is the art of selling. It's the art of convincing people that they need the product or service that is being sold and persuading them to purchase the product or service. So, salesmanship therefore involves people, product or service, and the ability to bring them together. So, successful salesmanship depends upon two important factors: knowledge of the goods or service to be sold, and ability to create a need for the goods or services. As far as knowledge is concerned, a thorough knowledge of insurance is a prerequisite for successful insurance selling. This knowledge would mainly relate to the risk covered and risk excluded under insurance policies, the risk which could be covered on payment of additional premium, the basis of settlement of losses, the method of arriving at the sum insured, the basis of fixing the premium, and the benefits derived under various types of policies. Direct benefits such as financial protection and indirect benefits such as loss prevention and loss reduction. So this knowledge can be acquired through constant study of policy forms, proposal forms, claim forms, sales literature, manuals, etc. Participation in training programs, discussions with colleagues, superior officers and fellow salesmen, and more importantly, from one's experience. The knowledge tends to get out of date, particularly in insurance where one observes that new development take place more frequently now than in the past. So insurers are constantly introducing new type of covers, widening existing covers, and improving their methods of ratings. It is therefore important for the salesman to update his knowledge of insurance practices. In addition to insurance knowledge, the salesman should also have, at an elementary level, some general knowledge having a bearing on insurance protection. For example, to sell fire insurance to a small scale industrialist, the salesman should have some basic knowledge of the type of products manufactured, etc. For selling marine insurance, he should have some knowledge of shipping and commercial practice, the method of packing, etc. So this kind of knowledge is usually acquired through study and experience over a period of time. Then there is the ability to create need. And knowledge of insurance covers is not enough. It should be supported by the ability to create a desire in the mind of the client to purchase the insurance cover. This is the essence of selling. So this happens when the benefits offered by the insurance protection are related to the needs of the client. So apart from some knowledge of human psychology, how people think, feel and act, it also requires the skill to identify the real needs of the client and to offer the most suitable insurance schemes at premium which is within his paying capacity. So this in short is the process of salesmanship. Now, unlike motor cars, refrigerators, etc., insurance is an intangible things which cannot be seen, felt, examined, or admired. So, when insurance is purchased, the benefit may be derived by him only at some future date. If he does not suffer a loss at all, he would consider the payment of premium as a dead loss. So convincing a person that he needs something which prima facie seems to be a loss needs much greater effort and skills than in the case of tangible goods, where the benefits can be seen almost immediately. As far as sales personality is concerned, insurance salesmanship is difficult and could be frustrating. The resistance to the purchase could be much stronger than in other goods. To succeed, the salesman should have the right personality. Personality cannot be defined. It is much more than external appearances like personal looks, mode of dress, but it is the sum total of impressions created on other people through appearance, talk, attitudes, verbal and non-verbal expressions, postures, response to situations, temper, etc. But these qualities can be acquired and developed through training, constant practice, and experience. Hence, it is said that salesmen are not born, they are made. Emotional vitality consists of healthy, positive attitudes and goodwill towards other people. A competent salesman believes that insurance is good for his client and that it is his job to give the client that benefit, although the client may not see it. So he should also believe that if the client is not convinced, it is because the agent has not been clear and persuasive enough. So objections have to be treated as opportunities to understand the mind of the client and therefore to explain in more effective ways. It is not possible to sell a person who does not talk at all in response to the salesman. So if this is understood, the salesman should welcome a client who says that he is not convinced and therefore does not want to buy. So the salesman's skill are under test. Either he has not understood the client's position well enough or he has not explained well enough. So either way, he has more work to do. He cannot give up. The good working technique would involve the use of several tools of trade. A market data file could be built up from newspapers, trade journals, etc., and from other sources providing valuable information about new industries coming into existence and existing industries, diversifying or expanding similarly. So details of a cooperative society, housing, consumers, wholesalers, etc. List of professional persons like doctors, etc. could be built from information available with the concerned associations. The client data sheet could be prepared for each client, providing for personal information or business data which is relevant to insurance selling. For example, in respect of an individual client, his name, address, office and residential telephone age, marital status, number of dependents, monthly income, etc. would be recorded in the data sheet. So in respect of a small scale industrialist, in addition to address, etc., the data sheet would include the type of goods manufactured, whether for export or internal sale, the annual turnover, the number of employees, etc. So a kit consisting of proposal form, claim form, specimen, policy form, leaflets, brochures, etc. is another tool of trade. A scrapbook could be built up consisting of newspapers cuttings of news items and photographs of fire, accidents, etc., and details of actual losses suffered by the other policyholders. The value of visual aids in selling has been amply demonstrated. So no plan of action can be worked efficiently unless proper records are kept. Records required to be maintained would be in respect of list of prospects, business performance, total figures, and class-wise and client-wise figures, and expiry dates of insurance held by existing policyholders as well as by prospective clients. So the process of salesmanship falls into four well-defined phases. One, prospecting. Second, pre-approach or preparation for sales talks. Three, sales interview. And four, completion or close. So the prospecting may be defined as the art of finding out probable buyers of insurance. Prospecting is the prime activity on which the entire selling process depends. If a salesman calls on 20 prospects, at least 10 or 12 may grant him a chance to explain how insurance can help them. At least 4 or 5 eventually buy insurance. Thus it is seen that prospecting leads to calls to interviews, and interviews to sales. So prospects are the raw material on which the production of a salesman depends. If there is no raw material, there is no production. So who is a prospect? He will be a person who has a need which insurance can satisfy and who has the capacity to pay the premium. The first task of the salesman is to build up a list of such prospects. There are several methods, and the salesman can use one or more methods suitable to him. And these are referred leads, a relative, a friend, satisfied policy holder, or even a prospect who has not purchased insurance may arrange introduction to other persons in need of insurance. In the center of influence, there are certain persons who command respect and prestige in their own circles. Such persons are secretaries of associations, branch managers of bank, doctors, lawyers, tax consultants, etc. A continuous flow of prospects may be expected through these centers of influence. Nests, a large business house, an industrial estate, a wholesale market, or similar groups form what is called a nest. If a salesman gains an entry into these groups, he would have access to a large number of prospects. Cold canvas. This is calling on a person whom the agent does not know and to whom he has no introduction. A salesman who has built up self-confidence over a period of several years of experience uses this method as a routine. So ever junior salesmen with sufficient self-confidence have succeeded in this method. And then policyholders, the existing policyholders themselves are prospects for new and additional businesses. So the name of prospect should be recorded systematically. The prospects may be classified into different categories according to their insurance needs. For example, householders, small businessmen, exporters and importers, professional men, trading concerns, contractors, transport companies, manufacturing concerns, etc. This would enable the salesman to adapt the appropriate sales strategy for class of prospects. Then pre-approach or preparation for sales talk, and then comes sales interview, then comes the completion. So as far as the sales interview is concerned, the starting point of the sales interview is the preliminary contact or approach. At this stage, the immediate job of the salesman is not to sell insurance but to sell himself. So the observations made earlier on the sales personality are relevant in this respect. And then comes the completion. So the completion or closing of the sale will follow if the prospecting, pre-approach and interview have been done properly. The time to close is immediately after the prospect is satisfied that the insurance cover is suitable and desirable. This is the most important stage in the process of selling, when the prospect takes the decision. Too long and too much talk is to be avoided at this stage. So the four stages of the process of salesmanship have been explained, but in actual practice it may not be possible to draw a definite line between prospecting and pre-approach or interview and close, etc. Salesmanship is not a mechanical process. A salesman deals with the people and know two people are alike and react exactly in the same manner. Over a period of time, the salesman will gain enough knowledge of human behavior to be able to adopt and follow a process of salesmanship suitable to his personality and method of working. Thank you very much.